It's finals time then here at Wackersdorf. Round 3 of the 2015 Rotax Max Euro Challenge. I'm Chris Hartley. In the box alongside me is Chris Dawes. He's been down on the grid speaking to the drivers. They are now in their offices, strapped in, ready to go for the race. Let's take a look at the grid then. On pole position, we got Nicholas Scholl for Strawberry Racing. The Austrian is ahead of Dean McDonald. Comes from Scotland, races for AIM Motorsport. Third on the grid, Cian Jewis, the new championship leader for Strawberry Racing from Great Britain. Fourth on the grid, Zach Falk for Coles Racing, also from Great Britain. Another British driver in fifth place is Finn Keneally for AIM Motorsport. From the same country, Jack McCarthy for Strawberry starts in sixth place. Seventh is Scott Simmons for KR Sport, another British driver. And then we've got Alex Quinn, who had a storming drive through to eighth place in the pre-final. The British driver for CRG Spa starts eighth. So an Austrian on pole, and then a queue of British drivers, 7 of them just behind. In ninth place, the highest placed German driver, and that is Louis Henkefent, number 63, starts ninth for Team TKP. French driver Jean Nomblot is there 10th on the grid for Kart Pro Racing KPR. And then outside of the top 10, we look to the 6th row of the grid for Giannis Slavinsky and Adam Matecki. Row 7, we've got Tom Gamble and Ollie Caldwell. And good luck messages coming in from back in the UK for Ollie as well. And we've got 8th row of the grid, Laurie Lepper and Killian Meyer. 9th row of the grid, Tim Mika Metz and Axel Charpentier. 10th row, Kasper Kordias and Ada Cohen. 11th row, Jakob Betzel and Hugo Anderson. 12th row, Simon Suchowski and Khalid Sayed Al-Wahabi. 13th row, Oscar Paloma Ortiz and Jonathan Hargard. 14th row, Ayrton Simmons and Lucas Dunner. 15th row, Titus Shanghai Schmiedli. He might come through. Went off in the pre-final, but he's been quick. And Andreas Essner. Row 16, Taimur Kurmashashi and Eric Stahl. And row 17, Mark Kimber and Natil Kantin. So that gives us the 34 drivers. Chris Hodgetts is the one saying go, 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 Ollie Caldwell, and wishing him luck. Let's see what he can do from a little bit further down the grid. Chris Dawes then, we're ready to go racing. The juniors have provided the best entertainment so far this weekend. Let's see how it goes in the final.
Yep, here we go. They're in the corridors, and are they going to keep it clean with all this tension? So far, that looks quite good. I'm keeping an eye on Thomas Liner to see whether he's happy with that. He's walking over, so I don't think he is. I think this is going to be called a false start, unfortunately, because he stood there letting them know. So he wasn't happy with that. They weren't in the right order, Chris, and I'm not surprised with the tension they're going to have then. It's hard enough to do these starts anyway.
Well, they're all itching to go, aren't they? And some of them are itching to make up as many positions as early as they can in the race. So, a full start. They'll be sent back around again. Thomas Liner stands on the circuit on the exit to the chicane, points and says, slow down. He's pointed to the front too, actually. That's where his gesticulations went. Pointed to the top two, looked at the lights, and then wagged his finger as if to say, don't go until you get to those lights, because it spreads the field out too much. So it is up to the front two drivers to control the pace, isn't it?
Absolutely. Thomas Linus does scare me. And I think he was making it very clear, and he nearly got himself run over there, but made the point nice and cleanly. They go through the rather tight turn 11 that we've seen a lot of overtaking attempts as well as actual moves. I say attempts because they can compromise their exit speed and possibly even lose a couple of positions as they start making that climb over the little hump over on that back straight.
Right, so they're winding up, Chris. They're just giving one more reminder to bunch it up at the last corner. And you've got your pole man, Nicholas Scholl, ready to get the race underway.
Yep, and here they go, and there's a couple of them that may well get a penalty there for being outside of the corridor, but off they go, still running side by side, and remember, they're going to now have an inside line if they were on the odd numbers on the grid, and they're into that tight turn number 3, the hairpin, and oh no, I was about to say they'd gone well, but one of them we suddenly saw up in the air, almost sort of piggybacking on the back of the driver there towards the rear of the grid, and I think one of them's gone off, and we got a couple of others that have got involved in all sorts of melee there.
Jakob Betzel's gone off at turn 5. 2 other drivers went off in the background as well. I think Jean Nomblot might have been one of them. Dean McDonald tried to go around the outside into turn 1 and got stuck on the outside line, so he hasn't made too much progress up here. So at the head of the field, it is number 16, Nicholas Scholl. It's going to be a change for second place up at the top turn into the right-hander. It was Cian Jewis in second place, but he has had to concede that position on the run into turn 12. So the new second place driver as we go on to lap number 2 is Finn Keneally. Cian Jewis is bunched back down to third place. And then fourth is nose to tail as well on the run into turn number 3. Second, third and fourth all tied together here. And fourth place is Scott Simmons. Fifth place Then is Dean McDonald. So I think he was lower than 5th originally. He might have been 6th or 7th even at one point. But Dean McDonald has managed to squeeze into 5th place. Alex Quinn is there in 6th. Zach Falk is 7th. Jack McCarthy next one through in 8th place. I think Taimur Kurmanshashi somehow has got up into the top 10 as we see the number 58 cart going in with a problem into the pit. So out of the race already, I'm afraid, for Giannis Slavinsky, who qualified pretty well for the race. At the head of the field, though, Nicholas Scholl continues to lead the way, but Finn Keneally, having broken through the pack now, Chris, is into 2nd place, and he is starting to close the gap already on this second lap, I fancy.
Yeah, and that was quite a gap that he's going to have to eat into. It was really impressive that Nicholas Scholl had managed to get over a second into that lead as they came through last time. That has been slashed by 50%. That is now just under half a second. So Finn Keneally has got himself not only into 2nd, but is chasing Nicholas Scholl down and dragging with him Kieran Jewis, who is still sat there in that 3rd position. But Dean McDonald is breathing down his neck with Alex Quinn in the tow.
And how about that for a start from Taimur Kurmanshashi, 31st to 9th in a lap. That is mega. So let's see if we can close the gap still further. But from 1st to 2nd, the gap did come down by 0.4 of a second. Finn Keneally on that lap was flying. On this lap, it's continued that trend. So he closes further still, and he's almost now with the race leader. And we got Alex Quinn trying to nip into 4th place on the run into turn 11, but he had to back off out of it. So number 5, Alex Quinn, going well. He's up to 5th place. Dean McDonald is there 4th. Kieran Jewis 3rd. Finn Keneally 2nd. Nicholas Scholl just about in the lead of the race. Not too far away from them. We got Scott Simmons and Zach Falk as well in 6th and 7th positions. What about the leaders? There could be a change here on the way to turn 3. Finn Keneally into the lead with a Dan Dare move down the inside. And then that's going to push out wide Nicholas Scholl, and he might just close the door in time. He does to hang on to 2nd place. I reckon Dean McDonald at the same time got himself through to 3rd position. So the two AIM Motorsport drivers going great guns there. Both moving up a place to 1st and 3rd respectively. Kieran Jewis is 4th. Alex Quinn is next up in 5th place. Then it's Zach Falk in 6th position. And at the back of the train is Scott Simmons. But they are virtually all together, that lot. Jack McCarthy a little bit further behind them in 8th. But he could easily catch them in the next couple of laps. And it's side by side for 3rd place here. Alex Quinn's going to gain a position, but maybe not quite 2. But he had a big go there. You got Scott Simmons going with him. And Kieran Jewis, they're still side by side here over the line. Alex Quinn gets to the front of that pack. Alex Quinn into 3rd place. Now he's come from the second chance heat effectively from 30th on the grid where he started in the pre-final, and he might get a podium out of this. So he's back up to 3rd position, and he's giving it hell for leather here, Chris.
And all that was because Kieran Jewis was desperately trying to get a pass on Dean McDonald. That group is still absolutely alive, would you believe it? But it's still Finn Keneally out in front from Scholl. Then it's Alex Quinn, and it is Kieran Jewis that's there, because the one driver that's just lost out in those last couple of corners, I thought it was, Dean McDonald, has been shuffled back to 6th position, and he's now going to have to chase them. He is in on his own there. He's not having to be defensive. From just behind him, I think, is... Zach
Falk.
Or is it? I think it's Jack McCarthy that's there now, actually.
Yeah,
it's so difficult to keep up with, isn't it? But it's absolutely alive that we got Finn Keneally still in the lead from Scholl. Quinn, Kieran Jewis up to 4th, as we say. Zach Falk in 5th. Dean McDonald on his own in 6th with Jack McCarthy trying to close him in.
Change for 3rd. Down the inside goes Kieran Jewis into turn 3 to get past Alex Quinn. So Kieran Jewis, the points leader, back up to 3rd place here. 4th now is Alex Quinn. 5th on his tail is Zach Falk. Those three tied together and being reeled back in now by Dean McDonald. He'll be pleased to see them fighting. It allows the Scottish driver to catch them back up. There's 1st and 2nd. 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th go together. At the back of that train in 6th place is Dean McDonald. And he's also back, almost back with them now. 7th is Jack McCarthy. 8th is Scott Simmons. Up to 9th is Tom Gamble. 10th now is Laurie Lepper. Kurmanshashi and Charles Pontier 11th and 12th, and Zach Falk is about to lose a position, is he? Yes, down into turn 12, and it's Dean McDonald that gets through. So Dean McDonald gains a place back here.
And that was all because, again, coming out of that turn 11, he lost momentum because he tried to make a move on Alex Quinn. We've seen that from a couple of the drivers now. They're desperately trying to make that move, compromise them. Look at this, still at the front, 4th position, and onto the grass stack. I think that was Dean McDonald, was it, judging by the helmet colour? Apologies if I'm wrong, it was incredibly quick. I was indeed wrong, it was not Dean McDonald. I'm not sure who it was, because they are going to be well back down this order. It was Alex Quinn that was just kind of pushed off onto the grass, and he's way back in, what's he in now, 9th position after running in 4th. So Dean McDonald is up into 4th position, Zach Falk into 6th. So it really was a Dan Dare move through that turn number 3, and it didn't quite pay off.
So Keneally leads the race, 52.3, just edging away on that lap from Nicholas Scholl, number 16, the Austrian in second place, being caught by Kieran Jewis in third, who was a couple of tenths quicker. There are the top three, and then you can see how much closer third is to second. Fourth and fifth over the line. McDonald up to fourth now, Zach Falk fifth. Jack McCarthy up into the top six. A challenge for the lead of the race at turn 3 again, and this time it's the other way round. It's Scholl onto Keneally, and the Austrian is through. So back into first place for the pole sitter Nicholas Scholl, down to second for Finn Keneally, and that means Kieran Jewis is very much right on their case now in third place. This is a fantastic race from the juniors. Fourth, leading the next trio, is Dean McDonald. And we're going to see more action down at the next hairpin. And we're going to see a recovery from Finn Keneally, who gets back ahead of Scholl. So Scholl got the lead back for about half a lap, but it's now Finn Keneally with the green helmet who's back in first place. The pink helmet of Scholl there in second. Kieran Jewis in third. Dean McDonald leading the train of 3 carts from fourth to sixth to try and catch them now. They're about, half a second or so back as they cross the line with 7 laps to go.
2 groups of 3 is basically what we've got here, and just behind them in 7th, the great recovering drive from Tom Gamble. Remember, he had the penalty that meant he started down in 13th position, but he's right up there in 7th.
Change for second at turn 3. That was Keneally on Scholl. So Scholl led a lap ago. He's down to third place now, Chris.
Wow, okay, so it's absolutely crazy. So it is Finn Keneally out in the lead, and it's Kieran Jewis in second, Scholl in third. That is enabling that group of 3 just behind them to start closing. Dean McDonald, Zach Falk, Jack McCarthy, and as I say, don't discount Tom Gamble in 7th position. He's not needing to be defensive. I tell you who is being defensive, Finn Keneally at the front. He was just getting tap from Kieran Jewis because he's determined to find a way through. He's gesticulating with his hand because he knows that he's got to try and make a move. 6 laps remaining as they cross the line here, and look at this, they're absolutely joined together, those front 3. Is it going to enable the carts behind them to close up anytime soon?
Right, this is where it all kicks off, isn't it? Into turn 3, another change of lead. Having to relinquish the lead is Finn Keneally. Kieran Jewis goes through. I think he's taken Nicholas Scholl with him into second place, so they've all had a turn in the lead of the race now, but I reckon it's Kieran Jewis back up front here because he won all 3 heats yesterday, had to fight his way back through in the pre-final, but there he is back in the lead. Scholl is down to second, and then it is McDonald has actually come through in third. Keneally has dropped a long way back into the second group now, so Keneally towards the tail end of the top 6. So Dean McDonald back looking for a podium to follow on from the victory in Italy, and maybe even the championship lead on this one. So McDonald flying, and a quick mention for a driver that is absolutely flying. Mark Kimber has gone from 33rd on the grid up to 12th place.
And Jack McCarthy's up into 4th position. We just had losing out on the backside. Both Zach Falk and Finn Keneally just dropped back a little bit. So it's now Kieran Jewis from Nicholas Scholl, Dean McDonald, Jack McCarthy, Finn Keneally, Tom Gamble.
Finn Keneally's just got 4th place back at turn 3, getting ahead of Jack McCarthy. So it is up and down the order. You make one slight mistake, not even a mistake. You just get somebody coming past you, another 2 or 3 nip past as well. And you go from 1st to 3rd to 4th, back up to 2nd. You just got to hang in there. But it's Jewis that leads the way. Scholl is second. We saw the determination from Nicholas Scholl in the pre-final when he nicked the victory back right at the end of the race. So he's not one that's going to be a pushover in this race. Dean McDonald, he's like a cork, isn't he? You keep trying to push the guy down and he keeps bobbing back up to the top. He's always there or thereabouts. That's Keneally losing a place a bit further back to Tom Gamble. So Tom Gamble regains a place as he crosses the line. It's Jewis, Scholl, McDonald, McCarthy, Falk, Gamble back up to 6th place. And here we go again into turn 3. Contact between 2nd and 3rd, and that delays the winner. So Scholl and McDonald make contact. I think it was Scholl that went spearing onto the grass, and he almost T-boned Kieran Jewis, who has nothing to do with that, who was about 3 lengths clear, and Jewis had to get right out of the way. That has completely shuffled up the pack. That's desperately unlucky for Kieran Jewis, and it means into the lead of the race is Zach Falk. McCarthy is 2nd, Keneally is 3rd, Alex Quinn is up to 4th place now. Desperately unlucky for Kieran Jewis. He was completely an innocent bystander in all of that. He was way ahead of them. So that has mixed the bag right back up again. You got Axel Charpentier suddenly joined the back of this group as well. There are 8 of them now for the lead battle. We'll identify where Jewis, Scholl and McDonald are when they come back around. But the contact between Scholl and McDonald effectively taking Jewis out of a chance of winning the race here. So they tumble down the order. Falk leads, McCarthy 2nd, Keneally 3rd, Quinn 4th, Gamble 5th, Simmons in 6th, Kieran Jewis is 7th, Axel Charpentier 8th, Jonathan Hoggard up to 9th, Mark Kimber up to 10th place now, McDonald is in 13th place, and Nicholas Scholl is way down the order in, I think, 18th.
And Cian Jewis just got himself up one position from 7th into 6th. Simmons dropped back down to 8th position. Charpentier jumped up to 7th as well. So there's still, it hasn't settled this shuffling down at all, has it, Chris?
Who on earth is going to win this race? I have absolutely no idea. I don't think they do either. For once at turn 11, nobody overtakes anybody, but it's going to happen again now. Down this back straight, there's going to be more overtaking at the tail end of the top 6. I think it's Tom Gamble making up more positions, isn't it? Or trying to, as they come over the line. Nose to tail. Jack McCarthy, suddenly could he win this one? Nobody was really talking about him at the start of the race, but we know how quick he is after his victory in round 1 of the championship. Good defensive driving, though, from our race leader, Zach Falk. Second place is Jack McCarthy. Good respect shown between the drivers there. Finn Keneally as well, keeping a watching brief in 3rd place. Tom Gamble is upper place. He's in 4th position. Cian Jewis, he's back up to 5th. You can't keep him down either, can you? So through the chicane they come ahead, Chris. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 carts, all nose to tail as they go down to the hairpin.
Yeah, I don't think this could get any more exciting. The fact that this has become a 10-cart train, a 10-cart snake winding its way around this twisty circuit, but not twisty enough to stop overtaking. Thought we got a challenge for going in for 3rd position there, but not quite. Finn Keneally is able to close off the door to Tom Gamble. Tom Gamble sat there still in 4th position. Look at this coming back. Basically connected those front two, separated by .061. Zach Falk from Jack McCarthy, Finn Keneally, Tom Gamble, Alex Quinn up to 5th position. Cian Jewis dropped back down to 6th position, so it's still topsy-turvy.
I'm amazed that nobody had to go at anybody into turn 3 there. It seemed a good place to have a go. Zach Falk defending his position on the inside. Oh, 2 carts go off there in the background. One of them is Cian Jewis. Another one I didn't quite catch, but from in that lead group. And side by side for the lead of the race. Somebody take the last lap board away from the man on the start line. We want this one to carry on forever. It's brilliant stuff. At the head of the field then, who's going to win this one? It's still nip and tuck, and it is still Zach Falk with his nose in front. Jack McCarthy in 2nd place, swings around. Alex Quinn is 3rd. Tom Gamble is in 4th place, side by side for the lead of the race here. Zach Falk has been overtaken. Jack McCarthy goes through into turn 12. He did it on the straight. He looks left, he looks right. It's going to be a dead heat as they cross the line together. Who wins? The answer is Zach Falk. Zach Falk wins by 2/10 of a second. No, 2,000ths of a second. Zach Falk wins by 0.002 seconds. Unbelievable. Photo finish. I'm told on the radio it's going to go to a photo finish. So wait, but the timing screen says Zach Falk, but they are going to review it. And
just a report that we said about Cian Jewis going off, unfortunately, that was with Finn Keneally, so it was absolutely a couple of the key riders there, and there was 2 very, very angry young drivers there, so I think there's blame each other on that one, and that one's going to run and run, I dare say. But what a performance by Alex Quinn, 3rd position after having to do the second chance heat.
From 30th
Unbelievable.
on the grid. 30th on the grid. So, on the screen, just to confirm, Zach Falk is shown as the winner, but I'm hearing in the earpiece they're going to review it, they're going to double check it. So we'll have to wait for a few tense moments, but on the screen, a 2,000ths of a second, which is probably about 2 centimetres, Zach Falk shown as the winner. Jack McCarthy shown as second. McCarthy got the lead from Falk going down the back straight for the final time into the final corner, and somehow Zach Falk fought his way back, and they were absolutely neck and neck across the start-finish line. They're the provisional results on screen. Alex Quinn, 3rd place. Absolutely fantastic stuff on the podium. That's his first podium, isn't it? So well done. Miserable start to the weekend. It ends on a high. Tom Gamble, great drive from 13th to 4th. Jonathan Hoggard, we didn't really get a chance to talk about him too much, but he's another one that stormed through the order. 26th he started, 5th he finished. So well done, Jonathan. That was terrific stuff. And what about this? Mark Kimber started the race last but one, 33rd on the grid. 6th place he finishes. Adam Ateki 7th. Khalid Sayed Al-Wahabi in 8th. Taimur Kermanshashi in 9th. Nicholas Scholl recovered quite well, actually, in the last couple of laps to finish in 10th place. But he'll still be absolutely devastated, having been in contention for a race win for much of the race there. There was also a good drive from Natil Kantin, another one that came from the back of the grid, from 34th up to 14th. Provisional championship points on the screen then. Still waiting for absolute confirmation from race control. But the provisional results, based on the provisional results of that race, see Jack McCarthy move back into the championship lead on 233. He was 8th at the start of the weekend, so Jack McCarthy for Strawberry provisionally back into the championship lead on 233. Dean McDonald second on 230. Alex Quinn, you never believed this yesterday, he's moved up to third in the standings on 227 points. Zach Falk 216. Cian Jewis 5th on 215. Axel Charpentier from 1st to 6th this weekend on 206 points. Then Finn Keneally 7th, Scott Simmons 8th, Jonathan Hargard 9th, and Nicholas Scholl 10th in the provisional points at the end of round 3 of the championship in the Rotax Max Euro Challenge.